Alright, well, we are now about to start what will be a two-parter, really multi-parter. This will not be my usual thing of, just talking until I hit the end of my playtime, because that turned out to be an hour and 43 minutes. And I've made the executive decision to make this a two-parter. Yes, it's unusual for a Saturday morning cartoon, and I hope this is your favorite Saturday morning cartoon, certainly since Yu-Gi-Oh! Has stopped its run, as far as I know. But anyway, yes, we are now back with the adventures of Bugbag. Any minute now, as soon as the area loads in. Again, I think it's the dynamic trees which have been quite a windfall in terms of precious, precious firewood. And as we see, we're still a little ways, I believe we're just north of Balmora here. And we should be on our way up. I believe we make it to and past Caldera in this part. And at the end of the next part, we will make it all the way to Aldrune. Lovely Aldrune. Such pleasant weather there. Lovely lush scenery. The lush scenery about us now in the Balmora area. I think we have just begun to tread into the West Gash a little ways. And so we find ourselves, for those of you who have seen this bonus episode here. So here's the rat, here's the scrib. The bonus episode I'm referring to is behind the scenes, trying to test when I do start talking live, getting a good sound mix through OBS, just so that, the game audio, which no longer has music by the time I'm talking, it still does in this episode, but, getting it to be such that I can be heard loud and clear. And away we go. So, no sense harming the scrib, even though the jelly is quite useful, but it is a harmless little scrib, so, early on, I tried thinking, what harm could it do before I knew they paralyzed you. I think most people go through that. But let's heal up a bit from that fight with the rat there, and be on our way, be about our business. Get a little more firewood. Oh, that wasn't one piece of firewood, that's two. Oh, that was a huge piece of firewood there. Got my hopes up. A little chilly in this rain, quite soaked. So as you see, that gives us a weakness to shock, but a resistance to fire from the dampness, and a weakness to frost, and a drain to our speed from being so chilly thanks to the Ashfall mod. Which I rather appreciate. They're little, but they do take their toll. Certainly a more serious situation than just walking north to Caldera. Lovely hills up here. Look at all these rocks. See, that's the thing. Even with distant terrain on, when you can see a town, it does make Vvardenfell feel a bit smaller. But now it just kind of adds to things where it's like, now I can see the hills. Now there's something to this place. Get an actual sense of the terrain. I can look out my back window right now, see a bunch of trees a little ways off, hillside. No stone flowers, alas, in my real-life backyard. And those are quite useful for the restore strength effect that they can confer. But let's go over. Yep, we are soaked. It's actually quite a considerable weakness, 20% weakness to shock now, as a result. But we got our stone flowers at least, and we'll be on our way. Maybe we can make camp here, because we're getting a little hungry right now. Get a little shelter from the rain as well. I guess we didn't really need that. No, let's reset that. That's the trouble, I haven't played this, this is, a month and a week ago that I'm playing all this. It's midday, so we don't really need the bedroll at least, but let's get a campfire going. Some of the firewood we just picked up. Make ourselves a little lunch, maybe a wee brunch. That should be enough to cook a meal there. 2 hours. Food does cook a bit slow in this game, but all worth it. Let's sit down, real time. And we're facing the wrong way. Let's light the fire. Oh, got a bit of a buff to survival, which I should take advantage of, because it does raise your endurance. That's another endurance skill apart from just heavy and medium armor and spear, you know, and one that raises a bit more organically than that. Let's just have a bit of growth mushroom anyway. For a bit of travel food. We're a bit less soaked now that we've got a bit of shelter. Yeah, there we go. Now we're actually sitting in the right way now that we have to face it. You know, so it turns you around as you sit down. That'll be good to remember. Just so I'm actually facing the campfire. Do we want a trinket here? Probably should have put up the, what do you call it, the dream catcher. Even though we're not dreaming, it would be nice to have a bit of magic regen, but we're not too bad off. Gotta stay hydrated though. That is key. So maybe just a little water to wash the growth mushroom down with. Come on. Where's, yep, the red bar for the cooked food. Just try and empty out that flask. Oh, I have tea. I had the Black Anther tea, so I have a slight light effect. Very stylish. Let's warm up our hands a little. See if we can't get rid of this chilly status effect. Get rid of the weakness to frost attending to it. A sip of coffee. Now we've been upgraded from soaked to damp. I wonder though, like we could probably take advantage of this, you know, jump in a pool of water before fighting a frost atronach or something. That would be quite convenient. Yeah, let's get the magical regen going. It's pretty slow, but if we're going to be sitting here till the fire runs out, at least help us prepare for the road a little bit better. Yeah, because apparently magic is made of dreams. And I don't know why I added firewood right there. Maybe just, well, now that the rain stopped, we can warm ourselves up before we have to hit the road again. Finally comfortable. And I think, I didn't know if I knew by this time, we got rid of our status effects, if I knew by this time whether the campfire, you know, when destroyed would give you back some firewood. It turns out it does. Sorry if I've said that before, but I haven't recorded anything in like a week either. You know, I've already got episode 6 keyed up to go tomorrow, so this is going to be for next week. Episode 7, or 7A, or whatever you want to call it. It'll be 7, and then the next one will be 8. Even though I'm talking about it, no sense having the titles be confusing. And I already have a title in mind, so I found a natural stopping point where this becomes a two-parter. Because we will be doing a bit of questing on the way. It won't just be, you know, walking along and me talking and hiking, even though that's what it's been thus far. We'll get some quests in. The light is worn off. Alas. The radiance of the tea has been replaced with the radiance of the fire. And, yep, so that's the tent cover there. I guess just drape an imperial flag over the, or an oriflamme or something over the tent. That'll be good enough, good to go. Yeah, might as well get back on the road again. Come on. Just look north. See what there is to see. Yeah, extinguish. Come on, man. It's 2 p.m. already. It was quite a long lunch break. Destroy the campfire and get back 1 firewood. Okay. Not as much as I'd hoped for, but that's fair. You know, no real shortage of it. I should try packing it up with the trinket on, just to see. I assume, you know, Murlord has been quite good about that in terms of picking up everything. If I could just pack up, you know, and remove the trinket by default. I presume that's what happens, but I reckon just in case, hydrate a little and we'll be on our way. Yeah, just in case, do it step by step. Make our way slowly. Just take it nice and easy. It's already 2 p.m. A dreary day. Not as cold as it was, at least. Get a little crush fiber. I forget. It is quite useful, and I forget why. And we'll make our way up to Caldera. Then Aldrun. Don't really need to do Aldrun, because if you look at your paper map, one thing I didn't realize after all these years is that it's kind of tucked away between the hills. And so you don't have to really make it be on your way if you're headed up to Nessus, like Bugbag is. But yeah, at least the towers of Caldera are already in sight. These will be the south towers. Oh, that's an Elite. I'm quite pleased to find this Elite, because Elite Hide is useful alchemically for its telekinesis. Quite useful. And so I haven't, or have I? I have with Jacques. I should record some stuff with Jacques. Done very overpowered telekinesis spells, but yeah, let's just put this guy out of its misery here. I guess this poison and my sword aren't really good. There we go, finally connected. And yeah, if we just munch on it, that's drain intelligence, which does us no good. But now we see we have some elitite. And let's, oh, another one. Gosh, usually I can't find these things when I want them. You know, for their hides. Nope, hub that one. Let's switch up to Fireball, save a little magicka, because I don't think the elites care, whether it's fire or shock. Come on. Might have to switch to our sword sooner rather than later. Really, it's just... got him on the ropes, but the spells... Oh, there goes one light. Excellent. And let's see what there is to see. Oven caldera. Chokeweed. Get some restore fatigue. Get some fresh weed, fresh fiber. And they have a road sign, just to let you know. It's caldera. I guess they don't, you know, they don't have the signs in Daedric. But you'd think they'd have something like that. I guess that's the closest the Imperials do. Maybe it's their custom. You'd think Bugbag would know, having come from Orsinium and being stationed there. But Orsinium is a bit new. It had been developed, I presume, as a matter of being in High Rock. I haven't played Daggerfall, though. Keep thinking I should, but it seems to take even more time than Morrowind can. Especially once you know your way around Morrowind. Deal with all the fast travel that Bugbag won't be using, except for divine intervention, just say in case of an ash storm or some other wild inconvenience. Or dire conditions. Yeah, we're just going to be walking all the way up from Seydanine through Balmora onto Nisus. And then, you know, then back again to Balmora and back to wherever we're going to go. So let's stop in at the trader, see if there's anything useful. Usually he has some stuff, usually has an amulet of recall right there, if you need it. And some armor, and that axe, and the helm, Warhammer wounds, you know, so it's pretty standard stuff for him. We could use the Dragon Scale Tower Shield. It is of Imperial make. Not entirely official, but at least it's medium armor. So I hope we pick that up. If not, maybe because it's too expensive or just because, it's, you know, we already have Legion gear and can train up our heavy armor skill in the doing. We'll see. Do I want to sell a flask? Maybe shed a little weight? Maybe. I don't see why not, except then we can have a nice mix of water, maybe multiple types of teas. Could be pretty nice carrying a bunch of flasks, you know, apart from just the carry weight trouble. Gosh, Amulet of Mighty Blows, I should get that, but do I? What kind of amulet am I wearing right now? I don't even know. Don't think I have one. It'll be a mistake if I don't get it, and I don't think I do. I don't think I do. Alas. But there are a few nice amulets here. Yeah, do I want to swap out this sword for that axe? It's slightly heavier. Pardon, same enchantment. No real reason to trade it out. So just stick with having the spell sword carry a sword and be on our way. Yes. And do we want to check out the ebony mines? Maybe if Bugbag is still feeling like doing a bit of thieving to get by, but it is Imperial property, so I have a few more misgivings about that.
Sorry, stranger, my time is short, so
I guess that's all anyone really has to talk about are the ebony mines in Daedra in this town. We find our way to Irgala, the pawnbroker. He has a quite interesting piece on his windowsill, which is the Hiloramar and Propylon index, but we're still a bit short on cash. 500 some odd gold. Yeah, 596, so we have more gold than pawnbroker, but it still doesn't feel like enough. It never does. You know, I do want to see if I ever can get a character up to 1,000,000 gold in Morrowind. The highest I've ever gotten is about 400 some odd thousand once back in the day, and I think Jacques is probably about up there through a lot of exploitation of Creeper and the Mudcrab, of course. Which I'll try and hold back on in this run. you know, tempting, though it very much is tempting. Another sip of coffee, keep me going. Oh, interesting. Is he an Ashlander? He must be with a name by Odairon Ashumi Amos. Yeah, I can say that, but I can't say like, you know, trouble with English, Jesus. A name like Odairon Ashami Amos. Ashumi Amos. Dear heavens. And that'll be, I think, Our Lady Suran Leorian. Or Serene Leorian. Quite a name, a bit cumbersome. Don't speak that much French, mind.
Go ahead.
But I'll assume it's Serene Leorian. I wonder if she used to work in Suran, where she got a name like that. But yeah, okay. That's very good advice, Serene. Yeah, apart from the Blades trainers in Balmora, they don't have too much to give you. Actually give you, apart from just very useful advice and unique dialogue, as long as you visit them by level 5, I think it is. And they might get a wee... I don't know if she got a wee disposition boost. I could run the video back, but that wouldn't do me no good in the actual, in the actual editing thing. So I'll have to pay closer attention next time. And, see what she thinks about Kaios. It seems a very charitable assessment of the man. Okay, mysticism, restoration, destruction, we could use all of that. So we'll have to remember her name. We can't really use her equipment, though. Apprentice's gear. I mean, I guess if you're really starting out and really short on cash, okay. However, it's just so heavy. And the drawback is so great in terms of basically cutting your alchemy skill in half. I don't bother with it anymore. I don't bother with it now that I fully understand, what it does. Let's just take a nice, good look at ourselves. Yeah, looking good, making our way up to this fort-looking building, the Governor's Hall. And, yeah, pretty stylishly dressed people in here. Including this feller, Cunius Pelelius. I guess Cunius like pecuniary. Spoiler for an Imperial Cult quest there. There's Yaros Uvain, who Saran just told us to check out.
My time is
sorry, I'm a tad bit hungry now.
Quick.
And she has spells that we can't quite use this time. But she does have Detect Enchantment, Detect Key, looks interesting, and Telekinesis. All quite useful. Slow Fall. Hide if I was using Illusion. But Bugbag already isn't one for stealth. Soul Pinch, that could come in handy. If not as a spell, then as a weapon enchantment. But how often do you really fight mages like that? So we'll need Telekinesis. And we have enough gold for it, so come on. Please tell me I didn't leave here without it. And Detect Enchantment is what we were recommended. Detect Key I like. Even though how often do you really need a key? But on this playthrough, I don't have any recollection of where the hundreds and hundreds of keys in Morrowind are. And as you may remember, I also have it changed in the code patch, such that I can't tell when I left here without Detect Enchantment. Well, thanks, Ray. And thanks, Yaros. I think I was just trying to conserve gold. But anyway, to finish that sentence, I have the thing switched on in the code patch where I can't tell if something is locked or how much, and I wonder if that'll change with a higher security skill or what. As we get on to playing, I have a class, kind of a stealthier, a stealth skill-based class to put together for Fur Trader for my next run, which will probably be running concurrent with this. In terms of... Oh, Cliff Racer. Yeah, you gotta watch for those in Cut Air. That's moving mighty fast, actually. A lot faster than they usually do. But we can count on help from the guards here. They'll be a lot more effective with their swords than I am with mine. Yeah, most of the guards in this game, I think all of them are level 20. Quite formidable. Yeah, even before I get a chance to get a spell off, he had that down. I just got one hit in, maybe. yeah, so anyway, with the fur trader, we'll see with a decent security skill, do we get that information or not? You know, because it never seemed realistic to me to have the capacity to tell, oh, did I get Fenric's Door Gem? Did I get Swimmer's Blessing? If not, I'll have to get these next time I'm here. Because they're nice little alteration spells. Especially Fenric's Door Gem, now that I know. Spoilers. But for those of you who have seen the second bonus episode, you can make wooden chests just out of firewood with the Ashfall bushcrafting if you switch that on in the developer options. So, what I plan on doing is Bugbag will have his own homemade wooden chests that he can, label and mark on his map and so on, just to stash stuff throughout the wilderness, and then lock them in case any passers-by or interlopers see them. So instead of just happening on, the nice little Easter eggs of, oh, happy day, we have a chest or something in a tree stump or whatever, we can be the people who leave them now for our own future benefit. Speaking of future benefits, we have some Journeyman's Alchemy gear, which will take up pretty much all of our gold, unless we sell... Do we have any nicely priced alchemy ingredients? We must have. Maybe the Hackalow leaf. Because again, that's, quite... Why am I... Okay. That's quite pricey, but, it grows all the way at the other corner of the island than most people live. So it only makes sense to me. There aren't very many plantations in the grazelands for all of that wheat and all of that hackalow and all of that marshmallow and salt rice up there. I guess people haven't bothered to actually farm it. Maybe because it grows that well on its own, but my oh my, you'd think they would. You'd think there'd be more plantations out there, but it's Telvanni territory, and that doesn't seem to be their way. So I guess they leave it for the beasts and for the Ashlanders. Because for being called Ashlanders, Velothi people live all over the place. I mean, some of them are in the Ashlands, some of them are in the Grazelands. I think the Ahamusa and the Zainab both are. So that's 2 out of 4 major camps in the Grazelands. They should be called Grazelanders. But I guess because they were the only denizens of Vvardenfell, forgoing some Redoran and Indoril temple faithful, for so long that people just presumed Vvardenfell was an ashen wasteland, and, thereby called its people Ashlanders. That, and it's also about the only land left them after the Telvanni moved in, left solely to them. What between Aryon moving there and... Well, actually, most of the other Telvanni towers are on islands, aren't they? Unless you get to Tel Uvirith, and that'll be in the Molag Alor. Let's see, let's make our way over to good old Hodlismod. See if we can't get anything that needs fixed before we get out on the road again. And, yeah, shouldn't cost too much. I should like to get my armor skill up, however, so it doesn't really do us much good with the realistic repair mod to buy hammers and keep them on hand. If we find them, that's a boon, but we can't really use them unless we make our way to an anvil and or a forge back in town. It'll be a forge for repair prongs, etc., and a hammer for anvils, although, in truth, I did try blacksmithing once. It was quite fun, but you need both. You need the forge and then the anvil. So it's quite unusual that they don't have them, for example, paired out there. They have a bucket to quench stuff, and they have the hammers, and they have the anvil, but then where's the fire? I guess you could make your own fire, but without some kind of oven or forge, it won't get hot enough. In real life, maybe I'm asking a lot of that. We still have Ghostgate on our map from reading The Pilgrim's Progress by accident. That's going to kick a quest we're never going to finish into our journal, which I don't like, but it is what it is. We are a bit over-leveled with strength, and let's face it, Bugbag is no longer in quite a skipping mood. You know, it's no longer a bright, sunny, happy day, and bright, sunny, happy country. Do we have a supply chest? I know for a fact that we don't. I'm sorry to keep wandering in here, but we are a bit tired. We don't really have a bed to sleep in, apart from the one that we're carrying, which is rather convenient, but we do want this mortar and pestle. Yes, we do. We need to start making potions. Let's see, can we maybe sell him some potions? We could use the Restore Strength. I think we bought that on purpose, just in case we run into a greater Bone Walker or some other thing that would damage our strength. So let's trade it in, yeah, for some Hackalo, like I said we would, like I thought we would have done back there. Maybe we can get Seller Max out of him. Maybe we don't have to kick too much stuff out of our inventory, but I know that even getting 2 gold out of people at this stage in the game can be quite troublesome. Just because Bugbag's mercantile skill and personality are so low. Let's see, I think we'll want the Quamacuddle. That does have water walking. And I don't know what else. Some other nice effect. Yeah, okay, so he didn't mess me about over 1 gold. So at least we're still in the double digits. And we have our mortar and pestle, and we have drained intelligence. And so this would not be a good time to make potions while we're tired. Which is pretty nice, pretty immersive, pretty diegetic that, when you're tired, you find yourself less capable of casting spells, making potions, making enchantments. That's good. I mean, I kind of wish the int stat would be more used. I mean, yeah, it's used mechanically quite well, as I just said, in terms of your magic reserves, your alchemy and enchant skill, but yeah, it doesn't really seem to govern too much else. Yeah, we're over encumbered, so you used to be able to reliably sell the large quam eggs and get rid of 2, but, rather 2 units a measure of these. Yeah, okay, so we thought we were down. Let's see, this is going to be down to 0.4 this time. I am happy, though, that they did make those way less overall. Let's sell them all back and get a bit more gold than that. Yeah, that's a fair price. It's about as much as we can expect to get from somebody. And should we be able to move right now? Nope. I guess not. It is kind of funny. You have to imagine, okay, the pack is filled to bursting, and such that, okay, if we just get these eggs out of here, then we'll be able to reliably move. I guess we can make some alchemy and see if we can, because we have skills. We have Quamacuddle. Are we going to think to do this? Yes. And see if we get a water walking potion out of this. And it, by dint of averaging the weight of the ingredients, making potions on the fly like this cuts the weight of them in half. And so I kind of want to check out the duration, but I kind of want to see if we can't, maybe instead of selling these quam eggs, we could have used, with some salt rice. Yeah, let's just throw it all in there. Maybe the quam eggs, come on, man. Yeah. And failed. Okay, we just had the one left. So we could have gotten some restore fatigue out there, but what is our water walking potion? 9 seconds. It'd be a lot more use just to sell the guy for not the 27 gold we hope to get for it, but it's more than we would have gotten for the individual ingredients, for sure. So, those of you who know Nalkari of Whitehaven, Quamacuddle, Scales, she restocks, but I don't plan on exploiting that restock on this run. And great way to grind alchemy, great way to make gold. People also recommend at the Balmora Temple they have stuff for, might be restore health, certainly restore fatigue. People also recommend that for beginners at alchemy, but I don't plan on visiting a temple if I can help it, so just because it wouldn't make sense for Bugbag to be there. He's an Imperaboo. Rather than go native, he's just going to sign back up for the Imperial institutions he was a part of before, and then some. Since he's joined the Mages Guild, which he wasn't in before. He was just full-time Legionnaire. And now he's in the Mages Guild. He has the great, and once again, let's face it, dubious honor of being in the Blades, who've been pushing, I suspect out of character, pushing Moonsugar onto the people of Morrowind and Vvardenfell in particular, because this is where the glass is. This is where the ebony is. This is where the resources are. They want to keep them. Keep the native Dunmer from being able to make any kind of revolt, and then have the glass and the ebony for themselves and be able to make a stand again. Morrowind was never actually conquered except by a matter of will. And Vivek negotiating a deal, I guess, to save a bunch of lives, because Hlaalu was willing to sell them out. Which makes Bugbag kind of like Hlaalu, make them, I guess, see them as reasonable people. Whether or not we'll sign up for them, I don't know. And maybe, just if he needs mercenary work or something. I don't think we'll see any need to get too high up, especially because I think, well, I won't spoil it for you in case we do it, how Bugbag would actually react to people in House Hlaalu, but suffice it to say he does not take kindly to bullying and exploitation of any kind. So, and speaking of, let us make our way to our first, let's call him Skyclad Nord, gentlemen. Skyclad, woodclad, very traditionally dressed, as you can plainly see. As he says, yeah, which she had to be. I was on my way to Caldera when I met her. Pryzak's Cloudcleaver was his father's before him. I don't know if he says it here, but, yeah, he doesn't say it here, but we find out later in what to Bugbag proves to be quite a moving story. So, they travel on for a while, and so we're going to look northwest, I think he said. And we're also going to bang on and keep our eyes open for Shova Horsewell and see if we can't find him. I know where he ought to be on the map from another playthrough. Kind of if you form a right triangle with Caldera and Caldrun, whatever you want to call it, within that whole region, off to the west, it'll be due northwest of Caldera, due southwest of Aldrun. And that's where he ought to be, at least somewhere in that cell, But it'll be like several things on the road, where I'll be looking for them, and I won't know where they are until I give up and turn around, and there they'll be. So it's going to be like that. We're going to just keep going on. Let's see if he has any further insight as to where fine blade she is, though now I fear what that witch's touch will do to it. The old Father Balmir used it to himself to slay the terror of Hrothgar's quagmire, he did. Very moving story, so it'd be a fine thing indeed to get this man back as family heirloom. From the one who took it. And might could have taken his clothing for all we know, because he hardly ever sees clad people walking about, except for the occasional Nord, so it might could be their traditional dress for reavers, as we might yet see in Blood Moon. But even then they tend to wear a bit of fur about their extremities. Even though they have no susceptibility to frostbite. They do tend to at least button up a bit more up there. On Vvardenfell, I guess you don't need to, a bit chilly though it is here, at least for Vvardenfell. Or for an orc, for that matter. So let's see who this lady is. I know who she is, but yeah, I could understand that. Yeah, I would love to make a deal and help you out, but I'm helping this guy out. Yeah, we gotta get her before she moves again, indeed. She's probably going to who knows where. We'll have to get going. She'll probably make camp about the same time she does. Yeah, camp to the northwest. Could be confused as to the direction from a spell, which is a nice cop-out, given the quality of some Morrowind directions. Because it turns out it's not due northwest, so let's make a run for it, see if we can't get her before nightfall. Get her while she's still settling in. We have headed northwest, yeah, due northwest, even though I think that turn in the road is where we actually have to go. So let's keep going the more northwesterly direction of the two. I don't know how far northwest he meant, or if she'll keep going that way. But then, so we met her in a camp to the northwest. He was southeast. Would she have kept going southeast then? Or would she have doubled back? I think we're to assume that she doubled back. If they met in the northwest, and then she's still in the northwest. Or she said she was going to make camp in the northwest in passing, and he remembered that detail, but then why wouldn't she change it, after that run-in? She could have lied to him. It's hard to say, and it's really tough to find her. But, what else is tough? Wild rats. Yeah. Let's see if maybe we can just do a bit of firebite, get our destruction up. Come on. Let's see. Yeah, alright. And get a bit of rat meat to grow. Yeah, do we need it? Yeah, okay. Yeah, we're over encumbered now, but... So we're going to be making our campfire very close to the rat corpse. And, yeah, let's just set it down. See what time it is. We are a bit tired, a bit chilly. Man. Could be time just to grill up the rat meat. We're not actually going to dispose of the corpse in case of respawning. Leave that there as a warning to his buddies. I guess would be the way to go. And yeah, just have dinner with this stranger who has been sharing his family story with us. And let's sit down in real time. Take it nice and slow. And so he's just kind of looking at us. We're looking at the fire, contemplating, wondering how life kind of turned out this way. We do very, very much want to go back to Nessus, but again, anyone who needs our help on the way, we will help. So let's sit down again. I think at this point we were just kind of in some kind of rage at the thought of that witch carrying off his family heirloom. Just stood up, draw a sword, maybe make a vow to him that we'll get it back. There's a lot in Bugbag's mind right now. Just watching the rat meat cook. Gosh, it takes a while, but I think we can get it there on just one stick of firewood, or rather one set of firewood, a pound worth. Nope, looks like we gotta add some. Okay. We'll keep it going for a bit. Maybe make camp here for the night. See if we can't. I got a feeling we're achingly close, though. Hopefully she didn't hear me, stand up and draw my sword and make that vow. But, yeah, no effect. Okay, don't need my magic drained anyway. Knock that grill aside. Extinguish it. I think we'll come back here after a bit more searching. Gosh, at least I'm not yawning. I upload this scheduled at 10 a.m. I always say good evening, but it's because I usually record it late at night. Now it's a nice afternoon. Not in-game, obviously. Now it's late at night for Bugbag. And we'll just keep... Do we want to head on the road again? I think we're a little tired. Don't really see her camp over the road or anything. Nothing doing. But gotta figure if we made a camp off-road, maybe she made her camp off-road. Man alive. This is not going to be easy. It hasn't been. We spent the better part of the day, looking for her. Well, certainly the evening, cause we set out after lunch at 2 p.m., so it'd have been afternoon when we rolled through Caldera. So yeah, all evening we've been looking for this lady. Who knows where she is? It's quite troubling. Let's see, we've got a couple points in axe, a couple in destruction. We haven't used axes, though. Maybe there was the once in the tomb, I believe we did. And I should like to get an axe again in due time. However, what can we do? I guess except for keep going on the road and looking for this witch and see if maybe there will be some sign of a camp, maybe some smoke, smell a campfire or something. I don't know. But obviously mechanically that's not how it works in the game, even with Ashfall. But maybe he'll, again, some quests they kind of clue you in, getting warmer or colder. Certainly warmer, when you reach the next checkpoint they'll pop up with dialogue. It isn't so with this one though. But it would be quite useful if it was. That might be a nice mod, for these wild goose chases. Is that a scrib or it's a Quantal Forger? And yeah, even with the crosshair, I might opt to disable the crosshair, because again, it's not realistic, and it's also throwing off the difference in aiming between destruction and marksman that I've gone on about before in the past. And let's see if we're anywhere near our former campsite. Yeah, we've got a fair bit of firewood, enough to get us through the night for sure. It's 10 p.m. It's quite quite tiresome. Nope, turns out we make a new campsite. Okay. Well, pal, sorry it's only a tent for one, but looks like that you don't seem to care what the wilderness is like. It's not that cold. Yeah, we could get the magic regen. Not gonna set a fire tonight, I guess. Just sleep, let's say till 4 a.m. Yeah, let's pick all this stuff up, make our way onto the road. Once we stay hydrated. Gotta stay hydrated. Without question. Pick this up. Pick that up. And that. And be on our way. If we find our campfire before we find the witch, maybe we can make a little breakfast. But yeah. Even after a good night's sleep, I think Bugbag is still a little miffed. A little bloodthirsty. To the extent that he's capable. Well, he'll prove quite capable to be bloodthirsty, in fact. Man's still an orc after all. Kind though he tries to be, helpful, really. Kindness isn't always about being nice, Kindness, when you're trying to help someone, if you have someone who has worked someone over, the kind thing to do would be to stop letting them work people over, I think, just for the greater good. There is a great speech, what was the man? Archbishop Fulton Sheen. Great old speech about character. And talking about a tale from the woodsman. And talking about how when a log, I should tell this tale, for how many campfires Bugbag sets. When a log goes into the fire, all the colors that come out of it are the colors that went into it, The purple of the lightning and the storm, or what is it? Or the brightness of the lightning, the purple of the storm, the red of something. Obviously, he told the story a lot better than I am right now, but I haven't heard it in years. But it's quite a good one. So, yeah, you get out of it what you put in. Well, that's a speech on character, a speech about compassion. Obviously the speech on character came to mind first. It's my favorite. And so when I think Fulton Sheen, finally remembered the man's name, that's what came to mind first. But yeah, talking about how, you can have some compassion for the wrongdoer, but if you let that get in the way of your compassion for the people they've done wrong, then it's gone awry. So you have compassion for the wrongdoer who no longer wants to do wrong anymore and who tries to set things right, like Bugbag's doing. Where all he did was just, he's a bit lazy, a bit thieving, but so are most troopers, I think. Or at least certainly where he was stationed, so he didn't really see the big deal for falling asleep on the job. It's Orsinium, it's not an entirely dangerous place. Not near as dangerous as Morrowind is. So he was rather confused to be woken up, hauled off to the Imperial City, thrown in the dungeon, until such time as he was brought onto a ship and sent way away from home, way out east, He misses being home. He misses being stationed, just like 5 minutes away from his clan, and his father Durzog. But yeah, I think we have found our witch. Well, what say you? Yeah, he is my good friend. Oh, a funny story, is it? Well, all right. Let's see if I believe you. Jeez. Yeah, well, we have come after you for retribution, and I don't think we believe you. So, you've already tried to sneak away from us. You want 3 more days? To get off to God knows where, you might even leave the province. Well, let's see if you have any other unique dialogue. Out of character. Before we go and end this. because I do not trust her. Not worth anything. You know, yeah, we made a wrong turn, but really it's such that Bugbag is quite miffed about not finding her, quite moved by his story, and so, you know, we don't want her to slip away again and have to risk not knowing where she's at. So if we do away with her, then we know where she's at. And alas, we are a bit burdened, so let's see if we can't fire off a spark here. Come on, yeah, switch it up to spark so that Flormar is not as hurt by shock damage, but she is. Let's see, as soon as we can move again. Yeah, let's go. It's quite good, actually, at this hand-to-hand stuff, and yep, down she goes. So she's got quite some useful potions here, which I think we might have gotten if we ever did the other path of this, which I think I might have only done once. Usually I side with Lorna. And yeah, usually, you know, you'd think that I would have postponed this quest. If you're metagaming, you should until you get 100 base strength, because then you get an additional 2 on top of the 100 base strength, I presume so. It's a bit chilly this morning, so let's throw on a robe for a bit of added warmth. While we make our way to town. You know, we have a Cure Blight Disease potion at last. And even despite the increased base strength, we do have some weight issues to contend with. So let's see if we can't get rid of that before we get on the road again. And let's see what we can do. I take it we can't even give Flormar the pair of shoes. He doesn't seem interested. She didn't take any of his clothes. She said nothing about taking his clothes. He was just going around the wilderness like this. He really was. So, yeah. Right down to the wooled bear paw on his face. He's old school. Wow. I think Bugbag has some considerable respect for that. And, yeah, let's see, what can we do? Do we have to drop our precious firewood? What can we do to shed 3 pounds? I mean, we can't really munch on raw quam eggs anymore, or raw crab meat. You know, and it is a bit of a cop-out, though it's a cop-out we're going to use. So instead we're going to do a bit of alchemy on the fly, and increase our alchemy more by making potions than we would have otherwise, just by, just by eating ingredients. And let's see, let's just click through that. Come on. A lot of failures, but at least then the weight is totally gone. And yeah, our alchemy skill is, only 20. We don't have any buffs to intelligence. And yeah, I think we'll just make our way over the hill and call it a stopping point right here.